Today on Eagle Nation News, Christina Folsom covers Zora Neale Hurston. How did her literature affect cultural equality in America?
Love fills the air on this special holiday. Nico Ray reports on the history behind Valentine's Day. What led to its romantic legacy?
And finally, Casey Boston will be in studio recapping wrestling's accomplishments this past weekend. What victories did they bring home?
All this and more today on Eagle Nation News.
Live from Prosper, Texas, this is Eagle Nation News.
Good afternoon, Prosper High School. Today is Wednesday, February 14th. I'm Tyler Winden.
I'm Christina Folsom.
And I'm Cameron Silva.
Today we start out with President Trump having taken more action on DACA. Cameron?
That's right, Tyler. President Trump has yet again attempted to put an end to the program known as Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. It was blocked by a federal judge in New York who claimed repealing the act could be unconstitutional.
Yesterday, Shaun White drew the attention of many when he reclaimed his Olympic title with a final score of 97.75 and won Team USA's 100th Winter Olympic gold medal. This makes White the first person ever to become a three-time Olympic champion for snowboarding.
Zora Neale Hurston was an influential character during the Harlem Renaissance and beyond. Her writings aided in spreading and making others aware of African American culture. Christina Folsom reports.
When we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome.
Zora Neale Hurston was an influential writer and figure during the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a period in time where African American culture and influence was thriving, such as folk traditions and the blues. The Harlem Renaissance was more than just a literary movement. It was a cultural explosion, and this is where Hurston shone through as a model of this critical point in history. Hurston was able to embody her African roots and lifestyle through poems and novels such as How It Feels to Be Colored Me and Their Eyes Were Watching God, respectively.
Two things everybody got to find out for themselves.
In 1937, Hurston was bashed for writing Their Eyes Were Watching God, as the Harlem Renaissance had ceased and there was no importance for her cultural pieces. In the late 1960s, much after Hurston's death, Alice Walker discovered her work and set out to find her grave. After noticing that it was unmarked, Walker brought her a new gravestone reading Genius of the South to commemorate Hurston for her impact in literary and cultural movements of the South. I'm Christina Folsom reporting for Eagle Nation News. Prosper.
When we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it.
Thank you, Christina. After this commercial break, Nico Ray has more on chocolate, flowers, and love.
Student Council is selling underclassmen shirts to wear at the Spring Sports Pep Rally on February 20th. Come out to the PHS practice field Thursday night at 7:30 to see Prosper Lacrosse take on Keller. Good luck to the following future teachers as they compete at Taffy State this week. Radio with Edge will be flipping their show format beginning February 14th at 3 p.m. Permission forms to enroll in dual credit courses next year are due to the counseling office by March 9th.
In honor of the history of Valentine's Day, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm not a poet, so here's Nico.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, Valentine's Day is just a few days away.
Valentine's Day.
Singles Awareness Day.
You mean Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day is a day of love and romance, but not many people know the origin of the celebration. Its name comes from Saint Valentine, a Catholic priest who was martyred in Rome for his beliefs. Martyred on February 14th, Valentine's name was added to the calendar of saints by Pope Gelasius almost 200 years later, becoming the first actual recognition of February 14th as a holiday. Years later, in the mid-14th century, Geoffrey Chaucer, an English writer, began associating Valentine's Day with love, romance, and courtship. Writers like Chaucer and Shakespeare romanticized their works, growing their popularity as well as the emphasis on Valentine's Day. This is the beginning of the holiday as it is now known. Starting around the 18th century, Valentine's Day became a day lovers would express their affection for their significant other by sending flowers, candies, and greeting cards known as valentines, referring to a letter St. Valentine wrote to a loved one signed, "From your Valentine." Only within the past 200 years has Valentine's Day become associated with hearts, doves, and cupids. Nowadays, we send cards to loved ones, we give chocolates and candies, we give flowers to our significant others, but most of all, we give love. So whether it's just talking to someone you love or sending them gifts, hold on to those close to you. Show them you love them, because you don't get an excuse to splurge on someone every day. So happy Valentine's Day. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Nico Ray. Prosper.
Thank you, Nico. When we come back, Casey Boston will be in studio to discuss last weekend's wrestling accomplishments.
Radio with Edge is changing. What exactly is going to happen? Could it be country? Or maybe hip-hop? Or could it be some smooth jazz? Big things are happening. But what exactly? Find out February 14th.
Send it over to Casey Boston, who will be discussing the accomplishments of wrestling this past weekend.
Thank you, Cameron. This past weekend, the wrestling team had a tournament here at the high school. The boys team won district with 13 advancing to regionals, and the girls team ranked second behind Liberty with 7 advancing to regionals. Sean King received Coach of the Year, and James Wujek received Outstanding Wrestler of the Tournament. Congrats to all. Now be sure to follow our Twitter at Eagle Nation News for news, polls, and updates. And also be sure to check out our website, eaglenation.net, to watch previous episodes. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Casey. Now we send it over to Max Hamilton in the Eagle Zone to give us a quick recap on girls and boys soccer. Max.
Thank you, Christina. Last night, the girls and boys soccer team competed against the Colony. The girls won 4-0 and the boys won 2-0. Also in sports, golf placed 4th out of 18 schools in the regional preview. That's all I have for you today. I'm Max Hamilton reporting from the Eagle Zone.
Thank you, Max. Now let's take a look at the meeting schedule for the week. Today after school, there will be a Technology Student Association meeting in room 1151. And also after school today, there will be a gaming club meeting at 4 p.m. in the library. Tomorrow, during Eagle Time, there will be an Interact Club meeting in room 2209.
An announcement before we go. With boys and girls basketball going into playoffs, we are now in no shave season. Shaving will resume if basketball loses the playoffs.
Well, that's going to do it for our show today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Cameron Silva.
I'm Christina Folsom.
And I'm Tyler Winden. Live long and prosper.